What's up? Thank you so much for taking the time to check out this very first episode of Armchair Astrology with Bear. I'm Bear Ryver, your host, the astrologer and Reiki master of Psyche and Soul Astrology, bringing you clear and accessible astrological content each and every week so that you can remain grounded and empowered while you accelerate your growth. Now, this week we'll be talking about the astrology for January 22nd through the 28th. I'm going to talk about two main planetary configurations. I'll be talking about the Venus-Jupiter conjunction and the Mars-Saturn square. I'll break down what those mean in just a minute. Now, at the end of this video, I'm going to be leaving you with your tangible takeaway for the week. And this week, it is a question of the week that will be based on your rising sign. So you're definitely going to want to stick around until the end of this video. Now, Venus, Jupiter. This is the good news. I'm going to give you the good news first. Venus and Jupiter are what are called the benefics in astrology. The goods, the good ones. Venus and Jupiter will be conjunct in the sky. This means that if you go outside early in the morning, beginning at dawn before the sun gets too close to the horizon, you can practice a little naked eye astronomy and check it out. You will see a very, very bright star. You might notice that that star is not twinkling, and that is because that star is actually two planets that look like they're in the same place in the sky. The two brightest planets in the sky most of the time, Jupiter and Venus. So this is good news. Some astrologers will call this the luckiest day of the year, and this is a lucky year in some ways because we will actually get two of these conjunctions, thanks to the fact that Venus will be direct all year long. So that means that Venus will do more than a full lap of the zodiac, and we will get two Jupiter-Venus conjunctions. Now, today's Jupiter-Venus conjunction, it'll be the 22nd when you first get the chance to check out this video. So today's Jupiter-Venus conjunction is happening right smack dab in the middle of the sign of Sagittarius. In fact, this Jupiter-Venus conjunction is going to be kind of beaming some energy right over to Mars. So this configuration will tie into the other big configuration that I'll be talking to you about. So hold that first thought in your mind. The goods in astrology are going to be hanging out. Now think of Jupiter and Venus as fairy godmothers. However you want to perceive them gender or sexuality wise, they are two planets that bring us things that we generally are very, very excited about. Things that feel sensually good. Think of Taurus and a good meal or some good music, or think of Libra and some good socializing with company. Those are both Venusian things. So there's our Venus side. Now, Jupiter is a planet that has a lot to do with faith, hope, optimism, all things that we usually associate with being pretty awesome. So this Jupiter-Venus conjunction for all of us is bringing us really in touch with the values that are connected with faith and hope. Where does our optimism come from? What principles make us feel that there is a good fate in the universe or in the world? This particular Jupiter-Venus conjunction is going to key into the other big configuration I want to talk about for this week, and that is, of course, the Mars-Saturn square. Now, Mars is the planet of our ambition, but I think of Mars more as the planet that has to do with us going out and taking the action to get the thing we want. Some people will associate this with masculine energy. I think it's a little more appropriate to think of it as simply projective energy or assertive energy. If you think of any energy circuit is grounding the energy and the other is pumping electrons out, and that's what's actually energizing the circuit. So Mars is that planet that's out there energizing our circuit. Going out and getting the things that we want, ideally assertively, sometimes very aggressively. If you've been paying attention or having to interact with other humans the last 3 weeks, you've probably noticed a tendency for a little more aggression, a little more hot-headed, a little more kind of temperamental sort of reactions in people. Heightened irritability, in addition to a little bit of a shortened fuse. Now, since you know this, and I know this, and all of us astrology heads are keyed into this information, we have the opportunity to see our own tempers for what they are, and to mitigate some of the malefic quality of Mars or Saturn. Now, malefic is the opposite of benefic. We've got the goodies, Jupiter and Venus, hanging out together in the sky, dosing us with a little happiness and optimism and inspiration. Alternatively, we've got Mars and Saturn in the sky, and they're not really seeing eye to eye. Think soldier that just went off book. Drill sergeant ain't happy, or battle platoon commander. I'm not so much on the military side of things, but I can say that when you've got Saturn, the planet that is the taskmaster, Saturn is the teacher that really wants you to master that thing that you're really afraid of and insecure about. So oftentimes we experience Saturn as being not very fun, not very nice. Hence, traditional astrologers call Saturn the greater malefic, even worse than Mars. Now, I personally am of the persuasion that all of the planetary energies are necessary and can be used well. It is simply a matter of understanding their purpose and channeling the energy productively. So, with that being said, what do I recommend for each and every one of us, myself included, as we go into this week of January 22nd through the 28th? Now, I think this week overall is the week where we really can begin doing the real work. Now, on January 6th, you probably got a little kick in the pants, a little vision into something that you feel deeply called to do, and that's you'll know more about what that thing might be, either because you've experienced it yourself or if you're trying to figure it out, by looking to the place in your own birth chart where 15 degrees of Capricorn lies. If you need some help with that, just throw a question down in the comment section below. I am more than happy to help you out with that. The other thing that you can look at is the more recent eclipse, the one that happened on Sunday the 20th. So you'll be looking to 0 degrees of either Leo or, well, of both Leo and Aquarius. That's where that total lunar eclipse, blood wolf moon, took place. These two eclipses, as I discussed in the last video, are really significant, and they represent kind of reverse bookends. January 6th's eclipse was the first eclipse in what will be about a 2-year cycle of eclipses moving through the signs of Cancer and Capricorn. The eclipse 2 days ago on Sunday, well, yesterday, the eclipse on Sunday the 20th, was the last eclipse in a cycle that began back in February of 2017. I'm going to give you one more date to consider, and this date has to do with the Mars-Saturn cycle. Now, back on April 2nd of 2018, Mars and Saturn were together in the sky in the same way that Jupiter and Venus will be tomorrow. Well, today when you watch it. So on April 2nd, 2018, Mars and Saturn were in the same spot in the sky at 8 degrees of Capricorn. So we've got this little kind of laser focus between 8 and 15 degrees of Capricorn. A lot of stuff going on there in this last year. Now, Mars has been chugging along, moving through the zodiac, and has now moved a full 90 degrees beyond Saturn. So this is the first quarter square. We can think of this just like we would think of moon cycles. You have a new moon, and then the first quarter square where we get what some astrologers will call a crisis of action. We are, the initial results from whatever our endeavor may have been are finally starting to come in, and we are presented with the first set of challenges that make us either decide, you know what, this is not for me, or you know what, this really is for me, and come hell or whatever else, I am going to accomplish the task that I set myself. Now, that is especially true when we discuss with the planets Mars and Saturn in particular. Two planets that have a lot to do with how we go about to get things, particularly how we go about to achieve our ambitions. Saturn's got that long game going on, the long view, the planet that represents boundaries and outer limits, in part because it is the last visible planet in the sky. So Tuesday morning, to those of you who are practicing a little bit of naked eye astronomy, it's going to be a really interesting morning where you can start to see the overlap between astronomy and astrology. If you go out early dawn, you will be able to see a really great view, clear skies pending, of Venus and Jupiter on the eastern horizon as morning stars. You will also be able to see a little lower on the horizon, so a little harder to see, but it will be there, Saturn, returning to visibility in the sky for the first time in a couple of months. Now, anytime we have planets that are visible in the sky, my experience tells me that they are going to be a little bit more powerful, and particularly if they're just returning to the sky, we will see the re-emergence of themes related to those planets. So write down these 3 dates. We're just going to go loose here. Write down February 2017, April 2018, January 2019. This is the loose set of dates where we're going to be really thinking about what started. In particular, what creative endeavor did I embark on? What part of my identity did I come to know in a new way, share in a new way? How have I tangibly changed as I pursue this part of myself? And where has that led me to today? Now, I want you in particular to really look at the connection between February 2017 and April 2018. What started to emerge early in 2017, maybe kind of got more intense and noticeable August of 2017 with that great American eclipse, if you're over on this continent. Really dig down into those events, into your memories. What was up most intensely for you? And how has that continued, how has that theme continued to play out over the course of the last 2 years? Because this week, beginning on January 22nd, we really begin moving those projects, those drives, those ambitions forward in a new, tangible way. Now, I'm thinking about this Mars-Saturn cycle here. We're about a quarter of the way through the cycle, a cycle that takes about 2 years. In fact, this one's, if I have the dates correct in my head, we're talking April 2nd, 2018 to early January of 2020, January 2nd, I believe. So taking us really close to the big Pluto-Saturn conjunction that is going to dominate 2020's astrology. So I think that's plenty for this video. I think we're already getting close to that 10-minute mark, and I said I want to keep it tight, keep it really simple and easy for you. So let's dive into these questions. These questions are based on your rising sign, not your sun sign. So if you've always thought to yourself, I was born on April 20th and that makes me an Aries. No, no, no. It does make you an Aries, and that's your sun sign, but that is not what I am talking about here with these questions. I want you to take a look at your rising sign. If you don't know how to do that, the simple way is to go check out astro.com. I will work on putting out a quick little video on how to get a free copy of your birth chart, how to quickly get into reading that and understanding what you are looking at. In the meantime, if you don't know what your rising sign is and you'd like a little help, again, just drop your question, some birth information down in the comment section below, and I am more than happy to help you with that. So, let's do this. Aries rising. I would love for you to consider, and I would love to hear from you. How are you creating your home space? Just sit with that. Home doesn't have to mean the place where you hang your hat, literally. When I say home, I mean how are you creating or creatively giving yourself a sense of a place where you are secure, where you're safe, and where you can really be yourself? So Aries rising, your question is, how are you creating home? Taurus rising. Taurus, my bull friends. I would love, Taurus friends, I would love to hear, where is your spiritual journey taking you? Now you can get real literal with it. I know you Taurus folk love to be literal and tangible. Or you can get really metaphorical with it, but I would love to hear, in this last year and a half, 2 years since February 2017, And in particular, in this last 2 weeks, where is your spiritual journey taking you? Gemini rising. Your question of the week. Who are your allies? Who are the people you talk to every day on a regular basis? Who do you turn to? Who are the people who are so reliable you can depend on them like you depend on food, clothes, or shelter? I want you to really contemplate that. If you want to shower your friends with a little internet love, I would love to hear who are the people in your life that keep you strong and steady. Drop a little mention in the comment section below or somewhere on social media, on Insta or Twitter. Tag your friend on my account. Let them know exactly how they have been an ally for you. All right, Cancer risings. I'm with you, my people. For us, for you, Cancer rising, I would love to know, what are you working toward? Make that as big and general as you want to. You can talk about your big overarching vision for the world, or you can bring that down to the most specific. I am working toward shooting this video, editing this video, and putting it on the internet by tomorrow morning. However literal, specific, big, general, metaphorical, abstract, empirical you want to be about it, I would love to hear from you, Cancer risings. What are you working toward? All right, Leos, I may not have a Leo rising, but I love you all the same, Leo risings. How are you creating fun in your life? But like, really, how are you creating fun in your life? I would love to know. Sharing is caring, you know? So y'all, let us know down in the comments below. What are you doing to create fun in your life? Maybe some of us can adopt those strategies ourselves. Virgo risings. This one's really simple, and you don't necessarily have to share it if you'd rather keep this one secret, like I know you sometimes like to. Your question of the week. Who do you feel at home with? Ponder that, share that, consider how those people who make you feel at home help you carry out your mission in the world. Libra risings, with your judicious balance and fashion sense, I would love to know, what are you learning? What is piquing your interest? What is causing you to be curious? What is satisfying you intellectually these days? What are you learning? Share with us down in the comment section below. All right, Scorpio risings. This one, I want you to really focus on your own internal sense with this question. How do you value your talents? Now, this could be like a practical thing, like I value my talents by sharing them, or I value my talents by charging for my services. Or it could be something that's much more abstract, like I value my talents as if they were the most precious gems in the world. Or something like that. You tell me, how do you value your talents, Scorpio rising? All right, Sag rising. What are you grateful for? You got the greater benefics lighten up your part, your rising sign, so your first house. You've got that really hitting you right now. So as you have the two goodies, the fairy godmothers of the zodiac chilling in your first house, what are you grateful for today? What are you grateful for this week? Feel free to share in the comments if you feel inspired. Okay, Capricorn. Capricorn. I promise this question is not because you're Capricorns. This question has to do with where things are falling in your chart if we used a whole sign-ish like house system for your Capricorn rising ass self. What are you building? Now, I don't mean physically. If you happen to be building something physical, that's rad, and I'm very curious about what that happens to be. But in the metaphorical sense, particularly on the inside sense, when it comes to your inner work, when it comes to your vision of the world, what are you building, Capricorn rising? Aquarius rising? What parts of yourself are you aware of? Or are you becoming aware of? What parts of yourself are you recognizing aren't just qualities you admire in a friend, but actually some aspect of you? And last, but definitely not least, this one's got the big heavy hitting work. Pisces rising. What part of your ego are you dissolving? What are you letting go of? All right, so those are all of the questions. I will be sure to drop those down below in the description box. I would love to hear your answers. If you feel inspired to share, please drop a comment down in the comment section below, or hit me up on Twitter or Insta or Facebook. Whichever one of those you use, if you like those things, I would love to hear from you, connect with you, and engage with you. This has been your very first Armchair Astrology with Bear. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to check out this video. If you aren't already a subscriber, consider smashing on that subscriber box down over here or over here. And ring the notification bell if you would like to receive new content like this as soon as it becomes available. Until we meet again, thank you so very much. I wish you all the best on your journey. May you stay grounded, may you be empowered, and may your growth come swiftly and gently. So many blessings to you all, so much love. Until we meet again.